Hi and welcome to Blender Source. Today, the first video of my vlog, or let's say diary, of my life as a 3D modeler, 3D artist. And like I said in another video, I want to show you everything, how the creation workflow is about game assets, game development, tabletop gaming assets, miniature assets for 3D printing to print out and put on miniatures, or to print out miniatures and create little dioramas. Yeah, and so let's hop into Blender and let's see what we can do today. And by the way, I have always to push a button here on my cell phone where I have a remote for Streamlabs, because yeah, I have to push the button here. One moment, please. Okay, here we are in Blender, and as you can see, I have here some open a file. It is called Bowmaker, and currently I'm reworking the models, the old game models like this one here, to new game models like these ones, a little bit more. Let's say it, one moment, I have to bring down the music a little bit, so let's find a little bit of music which matches better. Yeah, I would say let's cut the music off. And what I want to do is I wanted to create more developed models which are more realistic in the case of the framework and the roofs, and so that it is really possible to create this house maybe in real life. So I did a lot of research about framework houses. Myself, I live in a over 200-year-old house, so I know one or two things about wood frameworks. So in this case, we are making the Bowmaker, and what I want to do right now, I want to because we have by the way, this is for the game Empires and Tribes. We are currently in a state of development, and we are we are, let's say, in the middle of the development. Maybe in 2 or 3 months we're going on Kickstarter, and after Kickstarter, 2-3 months we're going to the early access stage, and then maybe next year, in the middle of the year, we are going to release the game. But now we are currently on heavy development, so let's say it like that. And what I want to do right now is I want to bring this here like I have here. We have ground walls and ground floor. This means we have this is the ground walls and the ground floor, which is partly in the environment. So we make this a little bit deeper, so when an environment is created, landscape is created, the model can be placed and it's not flying, it's not hovering above the environment, the landscape. That's because that's why this is so deep here. And all this stuff here is on the wrong layer. And I have on the layer 0, this is this layer, I have the original model. One moment, please. Oh, I'm back. I had to sneeze, and it's a little bit awkward to see someone sneeze in a video, so I made a cut, and here we are again. So we are moving this here to the second layer, all of this stuff here. So now we're on the second layer, and I have the framework floors. This is the floors are this one here. This is floor. So I want to remove the the framework of the roof. And all the framework of the roof is these guys here. Let's go with that. I think this should be all, and we move down to no, we should move this all to layer 3, because here comes the ground floor. So this here, these guys on the 2, 4. So we have the roof on a separate layer, we have the floors on separate layers, so we can work a little bit better. And let's bring it together again. And I'm currently working on the stairs. So let's see. Building parts, chimney doors, windows, and so on goes to level 5. To 5, move 5. So, and as you can see, we have here. Let's do this first. First things first. This is our setup here. I can show you that. One moment. This is not good what I'm doing here, so I want to have this a little bit bigger place. So I show you that first. It's partly in English and partly in German, so I will show you that. Layer 0, I put the original model in, so I can always have a look on the original model. Then on the second floor are going the ground walls, the ground floor. That means all what is touching the ground directly is going on layer 2, or layer 0, and no, layer 2. There's no existing layer 1. Okay, then let's say think like that. Oh, 0. Okay, this is, I know why. So on the layer 3, I'm going all the framework floors without roofing, without nothing. So only the floor framework. On the next one, it goes all the stuff which has to do with roofing. Means the framework for the roof and the roof itself. On the next layer, on layer 5, I have to rework on these layers. I've totally forgot about layer 1. And this is, I worked with this since a few months, and now I'm seeing that's awkward. Okay, layer 5, building parts, chimney, doors, windows, and so on. All the parts which are going extra on the building, not the building itself. And on the layer 6, it goes the completely assembled building. I make a copy of all and bring the assembled building to the layer 6. Then I'm going to join all the layers, all the things on level. I copy it again on layer 7, and I join all the layers here. And on layer 8, there will be the joint and scaled building. That means if I'm a little bit off scale, I will rescale it on this layer, and this will be the final layer. Layer 10 is camera and lights. Layer 18 are dummy material objects, which are holding the materials for new files. Because if something is unused, it goes away, it goes into the nirvana and disappears. And then on layer 19, we have a backup layer. If we need something, or I think we can use this again, I put it on layer 19, or I have something which maybe I want to use, but I'm not sure, so I put it on layer 19, a copy of that, so I can always go back and have the model again. So I don't have to save 10 versions of the same file, so I have only one file. Then here is written enthaltene Materialien bzw. Texturatlanten. That means that these are the materials and texture elements which are going into the game or are ready for texturing the whole thing. And this is the facade, the ground stone. Misc means there is metal in there, is a lot of material in there. There's the roof materials, stone walls, and wood. And these are the materials we are using for the game. So this is this for that. And I have here the asset management, and I have created a lot of frameworks. And this is not the only one. I have doors and frames, door frames. Then I have doors, a few. Then I have some foundation. There's only one foundation at the moment. Then we have the framework. We have these ones here. Then we have framework connect. That means always this is for connecting one framework to the other. So I have frameworks which are open on one side or the other side. Then we have framework rough. That means this is a little bit more rough framework. It's a little bit thicker. It's for it's not in use yet, but maybe we can use it for some really ugly buildings which are just there as little housing for, I don't know, pigs, cows, and so on. It has not to be so sophisticated, so clean like the other framework, because it's just a building for usage to work with for animals or other stuff. Then we have some framework solos. This is just poles with different beams for stabilizing in different manners here. And then we have, let's see, we have Giebels. I have to look up what it means. Translate.google.com. Give me the translation, please. The translate will not work. Okay, so I have to use the translate. And let's see, we are going to set Giebel, and we are going to put this in English. It's the gable or pediment. Okay, that's it. So then we have planks and beams, just one here. We don't use this much, but I have to make some more. Then we have roofs. There's only one roof at the moment. And we have stairs. There's only one stair. This is the stair for the ground floor. Then we have timberings. Let's see. We have some. Yeah, this is old thing which I don't use anymore. Then we have window shutters, and different kind of window shutters. Two window shutters, single one in the other direction, another type of window shutter, and a small one. They're all different. It looks a little bit the same, but they are not. So let's see, what do we have else? Windows. Yeah, we have windows. We have different windows. We are currently setting the game into the 13th century, so we don't have really windows, but of the sake of the game, we are putting windows in there. Normally a window this time on first floor, were no windows, just small openings for letting in a little bit light. And mostly the first floor wasn't, the ground floor wasn't, there weren't no windows in there, because there were no glass. The glass was not existing in this. You don't have glass in this time. The glass panes like that, and no existing glass panes. Only bottle bottom glass was in this time partially. It was the beginning of the glass industry, the beginning of the glass manufacturing, let's say it like that. The industry was a little bit later. But for the sake of the game, we had to put in some of these, because we have to let light into the buildings. It is not good for the game if you go into a building and it's dark and there are just some candles which are lighting the room. It was like this in the 13th century, but for the sake of the game, we have to make some windows. And through a miracle or something like that, it was made out of glass. Normally, if you had some windows, they are mostly made of really thin pergament. This is an old form of paper. So it was really dark in the buildings, but we have to bring light in, and so that you can see what you are doing in the building. We have some other stuff here, some other windows. These are really windows which are existed in this time. This is with some, let's say, like I have always to look up some rods. Rods was the name. Okay, then we have here some like a grid, like a mesh, made out of wood, so that nobody can enter the building. This was the most cases in the first floor, and you had window shutters. This was really important, so nobody had the ability to came in. And the more important fact was at this time that you had to keep the warmth in the building. So normally the windows were very small for a little bit of light and to keep the warmth inside the building. Or the heat. Okay, heat is a little bit too much. So what do we have else? We have some window frames here as well. Some with rods like that. Let's see, pole or bars. Is there another word? Sticks. Stickity stick. No, poles or bars here. And without any bars, then a rounded one and two simple ones. And by scaling these times, I have plenty of variations then. And yeah, what else? This is how I work with that. And this is how I create these buildings. So let's really go really fast through the buildings, and I show you. And let's see. I do not put a straight beam here. If you can see, I have put some holes here, some cutouts. You can see it's all really honest. I'm honest with you. I'm German. I'm not a perfect English spoken person, so I had to, with the help of Google, I have to translate some words. But the next time I know the word and I can, speak better. And I hope I will improve myself over the time. So I have made some cutouts. These cutouts normally are not necessary, but if you look closer, we have some gaps in here. So it helps a little bit the illusion of a real building. Then I have supporting beams, and so that nothing is floating in the air. This is really important. Normally I put here another beam in there as well, but I think we can cover this here, and I will put these, or later on I will join these together so it's one piece here. So let's see, if we cut Madcap and we're going to see the materials. Do I have some materials on that? Yeah. As you can see, it's all, most of the parts which I use have materials on it. But to work with the materials right now is a little bit not so my thing, so I work with Madcap. It's better for contrast and to work with. Later on we are going to use the material mode, material view, so we can see the textures and we can correct maybe the remapping and so on. This is all the part of building buildings. So yeah, that's it. That is how I create my buildings. This is the first video, the first explanation video, how I create these things. And let's see, we can go to here. Hi. So yeah, this is the kind of video I want to make. I want to show you everything. I want to explain you every single piece, how we create that, how we import it in Unity, how we maybe I have to obscure some of the parts in Unity because of the maybe some things which are not ready yet to show, because we want to keep it a secret for the game. But if you are interested in the game, you can download it at itch.io, and you can play the demo. And it's really fun. It has here and there, it has some errors, we know that, and we are working on the bug fixes as well. Maybe I will make an example Unity environment to show you, to explain you some of the things we are doing in Empires and Tribes, because I don't want to show you, maybe I miss to cover something and then my boss is killing me, not softly, but really the hard way. So, and my part at Empires and Tribes is I'm in, let's say, the lead 3D artist. We have four people for the 3D art. We have someone who is caring about the characters at the moment, one who makes just cloth and hats and this stuff, and another one, this time it's a woman. She's all-rounder and she's really amazing. She worked on models for Final Fantasy. So we have a little celebrity here. Yeah, not a celebrity. She was working for the company, which was working for the producer of Final Fantasy, and she was creating weapons and cloth, I think, and props and so on. And you can see she's really into that. She has learned this. She's not. Let me search for the word. Here in German we have, for everything we have a word, and in English it's nice. It's most of the time it is a career changer. We are all career changer. The leading developer, the other two guys. I am a career changer. We call it Quereinsteiger in German. She's the only artist here who has learned all the stuff, who has studied arts, has studied 3D modeling on a university. So I'm the leading 3D artist, but it's more because I have the bigger mouth. I can talk a lot. And she's Vietnamese, so she's not that good in German. She's currently improving. Every day it's better. But for the organization and so on, and for connecting between the team members, you have to speak German, because we are all Germans, except for the Vietnamese part of the team. So yeah. And yeah, we are currently 4 people for the graphic. The leading artist, developer, is making 3D models as well. But my part is to tell him that his models are not so good. No, just a joke. He's into the programming. He's really, really good. And he's a career changer as well. He's a musician. He's a teacher from music. He's a vocal coach and so on. He's a musician and musicians. And how do you call these people which are doing math on a higher level? Mathematiker. Mathematicians, yeah, are really good in programming, because they have a structured thinking, and this is really important. I'm more the chaotic type of guy. So this is because I wasn't really successful with my programming. So for my Java development stuff, okay, I have had 2 or 3 or 4 or 10 programs on the market, especially developed for systems to talk with machines, with machines and computer, where they had to manage the machines. This was some I have done, and some connections between databases, converting from one database type to another database type, and make export and import routines with a control in the middle where the user can go in and can check it, and it's was pre-checked and so on. It was for SAP and other systems between that, or some systems which are there's a format which you can exchange data between. It's EDI called. It's from the UN, and it's a format which you can exchange data between systems. It's a defined format which gives you the possibilities to give your data to another business, to another part of the world, if they use EDI. And I have made export programs from different systems to EDI as well. It's a long time ago, and somehow I missed the time, somehow not, because it was a lot of stress. It was really, I've always worked with black boxes. I had no clue what is coming out. I had to analyze always the whole thing, and then I have to bring it together, analyze the data, and I have to put it in the right way, in the right tables, and so on. I had to export them, and this was always the stress, this black box thing, and somehow I was specialized in that. Sometimes the way of God are really merkwürdig, funny, yeah, something like that. And now I'm a 3D artist. So enough for today. I think we have covered it a lot. and I see you in the next video. Maybe tomorrow, maybe in 2 days. We will see how I can create videos in which frequency I can do that. So, see ya. Bye bye. And I have to find the button again. The Knopf again. It is, German and English is somehow really difficult. There's a phrase, if you go me on the Nerven, I put you in the Gully, do the Deckel drauf, and you never come back to the Tageslicht. Word of the day. Bye bye.